everyone, and Happy New Year to everybody. Well, look, we finally got some snow. We almost had a green winter. I think we got a little bit of snow for Christmas Day, and then we had a slight snowstorm 2 days ago. We're due for more tomorrow, I understand, but it's nice to see some snow. So today I've made a video just showing how I've taken down my Christmas decorations and what I've done to replace them and to do a little bit of decorating here in my home. Now, I know a lot of people are decorating for winter inside their house because that is the season. I did leave up some things that are reminiscent of winter. I know some people also are decorating for Valentine's Day, and I don't have a lot of things for Valentine's. And that what I've put out is things that make me happy, and mostly vintage items that I've been collecting over a period of time. And some of them you've seen in previous videos that I have collected from thrift stores recently. So I will start here with my gallery wall. This houses some of the only Valentine's items that I have. Those two are New Year's. And then up here I have some vintage Valentine's postcards. I don't have very many, just these 3. And other than that, for Valentine's Day, I just have above each of my cabinets some cross-stitching that have some gorgeous peach flowers. There's that one. And then above this cabinet, I also have another cross-stitch. I purchased these 2 oak display cabinets just before Christmas off Facebook Marketplace. I had a lot of fun decorating them for Christmas. And now that my Christmas decor is down, I spent a week decorating the inside of them. And I just wanted to put things in there that I really like to look at all the time that make me feel happy. So there are a few items that are kind of winter-like, such as these little decorations here on top. Look like snowballs. They were there for Christmas and I left them up. Also some of the pine cones and the birds give me a winter feel. So I decorated these cabinets with a mixture of decor, old books, and things that I've collected through the years, as well as newer items that I've thrifted. And here we have a couple of large pine cones stuck in this pitcher. We have a salt and pepper shaker there that are antique from Sadler, England. Here we have a milk glass juicer, and it's got some vintage buttons, metal buttons in it. And an antique candle holder, some old books. On top of that, a jar with some beach glass that I've collected through the years. A pair of old silver candle holders with 2 copper candles in them. A green bird of happiness, I guess, like the blue bird of happiness. And this is a green bird. And I think it says J. Foster 1931. So it's an older bird. The next shelf, I have another vintage candle holder. This is the iris pattern. And here we have another bird. This is a Czechoslovakian bird. And this hobnail dish with some copper decorative balls on it. Some doilies. A couple of figurines, Beatrix Potter, Royal Dalton, a candle. Down on the next shelf, some vintage books, another set of old salt and pepper shakers, more doilies. This little 30th anniversary bell was gifted to me on our 30th wedding anniversary from my mom. So that would be 20 years ago. This is a butler for sweeping up the crumbs off your table. It's brass. A weeping gold little jug. It's only a couple of inches tall. Some vintage pearls. Some silver bracelets. Down here we have a Mexican Tinola bird. This jadeite bowl with some rocks that we collected when we went out to the East Coast. A cigar, or a pipe holder, I should say. This is a darning tool for socks. A vintage tool. A pewter candle holder, and some older books. Then over here on my fireplace mantle, I did leave out some trees that were kind of reminiscent of winter. We have some old bottles. And here for a riser, I use this dovetailed box. It's empty. A couple of more old bottles. And then I have a couple of Bakelite items here. One is this old radio. It's an Emerson radio. And then beside it, on this stand, I have a Bakelite viewfinder. Viewmaster. And in this box, it's full of the Viewmaster slides. So that's still in pretty good condition. Then we have a Big Ben clock. This dry vase, my husband turned this from a piece of apple wood, and in it are some vintage knitting needles, a shorebird, another bird, a couple of larger books. I don't have a coffee table, so I put a couple of coffee table books up here, and a Mexican basket. Beside it on the second cabinet, up here we have a pottery cup with a turned tchotchke inside of it. 2 candlesticks which hold my copper acrylic candles with copper flake inside them. And then inside the cabinet, on the first shelf, we have this silver vase with a flower frog top, and in it are some antique hairpins, hat pins, and some newer hat pins. Then we have this vintage card of this gentleman, some carved birds, this milk glass dish which is shaped like a heart, so that's kind of for Valentine's. It has some vintage and antique jewelry in it. And also this carnival glass dish, shaped like a shell with some more vintage jewelry. We have a wedding vase back there, a couple of candles, books, a tatted doily, and this is an old locket, sterling silver. It has a picture of my mom and dad in it when they were first married. They have since passed, and I inherited that locket. Down here I have a decanter, which is Bavarian. Another carnival glass dish with some wood-turned spindles. This toothpick holder with a couple more stick pins. Back here we have an old calendar. Each page is a page of Robert Bateman's paintings. I put it on this picture because it had some snow and a winter bluebird in there. In front of it, I have these two antique bowls, and inside are some Bakelite bangles. Down here, I have a little Pyrex dish, a glass baked dish maybe, refrigerator dish, it's an antique dish, and inside it are some vintage sewing items, some tools, and this tatting tool. And beside it is this Irish dish that has some vintage jewelry in it. And that's all on a scarf with some tatting on the end of it. Very pretty. Down below, more decorations, including a bird, a vintage book, this vintage Irish glass cup, custard cup or pudding cup with some antique knobs in it. And then here we have a uranium glowing glass juicer with some vintage pearls. Next to that, some more vintage dishes, including this Sadler creamer and sugar set. Down below that, we have another vase, a flower frog, an old gavel, another flower frog, a bird, and here we have some more vintage wooden items and some hat pins, and this is an old vintage expanding ruler. And that's it for in this cabinet. Just items that I really like to look at. And down beside that cabinet, I kept this old copper pot full of pine cones for decoration. I have a end table or cabinet beside that, which is beside one of my couches. And on there I just have these three decorative, they look like books, but they're actually storage containers inside. There's nothing in them right now. And then a couple of candles and two snuffers. On the other side of the couch, I have another little end table. And on top of that are some wooden items, including these 3 spools that are varied sizes, a cup that was wood turned by my husband, and this vase also he made out of a piece of apple, and inside it are some old wooden spoons and butter pats. And so that's basically how I've decorated for after Christmas in my living room and on my fireplace. And it's full of things that I just love to look at. So thank you for watching this video. And I hope you enjoyed a trip down memory lane with me.